Welcome back, everybody. My name is Joe. This is Work Hard RC, and today we're going to be upgrading our brand new sand car from Traxxas. We have a light kit that we're going to be installing. Let's go ahead, get this installed, take it out, and have some fun. Alright, so we have ourselves the Funko Motorsports light kit by Traxxas for our sand car here. This is a kit that includes the light bar, 2 lights here on the side, and then it also has a rear tail light. So let's go and check out what's inside of it, and we'll see how extensive it is and what it needs to install. It looks like we're going to be needing to cut into the body. So it does come with 2 stickers here that allow you to know where to drill and cut. It looks like we need 2 holes, passenger and driver's side. So we'll use that as our guide. And then inside of the box with the instructions and that sticker there, you do have all of the light bars as well as the module there to be able to control the lights. So we'll get all this installed. We'll break it down. We'll take it step by step. It doesn't look too difficult. The most difficult part from what I can see is just the drilling into the body. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. But let's go ahead and get it in and take it out for a spin. Looks like we have some sand still in this guy from when we took it out. But it looks like the instructions are pretty self-explanatory, pretty extensive. So we're going to go ahead and start by taking off the top here. But let's take a look in the box and see and make sure that it has everything that we need. So we do have the light kit and all of the mounting points there. And then on the bottom, you can kind of see all of the wiring there that we'll be tucking inside of the body. And then here on the bottom we have the mount that goes into the box. So that's in there, the wiring kit, sorry, not the mount. And then we also have all of our parts, zip ties, mounts for the lights that we're putting onto the body. So let's go ahead and break this down step by step and see what we need to complete this. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be removing the top. I know in the instructions, if you guys have this, it's going to say to do that second, but we're going to do that first only because I know it needs to come off. And we're going to use our handy dandy fan tech here to help us along the way to make things a little bit quicker. Let's go ahead and take off this top. We have all the screws from the top taken off. Let's go and take this. Oh, actually, we did forget one right here. Now we have all the screws removed. Let's go and take that top off. We'll put these inside of the top. We'll set this on the side so we don't lose those. And then we can go ahead and see what is next. These guys kind of got dirty from when we took it out. So here we see the holes where we get some airflow into there. This time when I take it out, I will be connecting the batteries the correct way to see if that helps. So this is the kit that you're going to have to put on to the body so you can know where to drill the holes. It does say in here to use a razor. I don't think I'm going to be using a razor. I'm going to see... I can see the holes and what needs to be taken out. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my Dremel, which we have that plugged in and ready to go. And just drill with that, make it very precise. Should make it quick and easy, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. So this is going to be on the driver's side on the top. Let's go ahead and take that off and stick that on there so that we can get the hole spacing correct. That piece there. And that's going to go just on this corner right here. You'll see the little notch in the front driver's side. It's going to go right there. We shouldn't have to remove the shell. We should just be able to put this here and drill according to this template. All right, we have that there on that side. Let's go ahead and put the other one on so that we can have them both ready to go and get through them fairly quickly. If the sticker cooperates with me. It's peeling, but it's peeling up the entire paper. So there we go. We got it coming off there. All right, we have that sticker on that side. Now let's see what we have to do next. I believe the next part is going to be, it would have taken us the body off. So we're going to go ahead and drill those holes, because after that the lights are going to go in there. So let's see how precise we can get with this Dremel. We'll go slow, hit those holes, hopefully head on. All right, very nice looking holes there with the Dremel right there. Let's go and do the other side. And we have the other side drilled out, all ready to go. So we are done with that step. We won't be needing that anymore. Put that on the side. We'll go ahead and peel off the sticker since that's already drilled and we don't need that template anymore. Take off that sticker. Pretty clean holes there. And on the other side. So all done there. Now we're going to, let's see if we need to get the kit out for the, let's see how we're going to run these lights. So we need to take the pod here. Let's grab this whole piece. They are tied together, so we'll just have to unband these here. Really easy. Take off one pod. Looks like they're connected there. And the other pod. Looks like they will stay connected there. Let's look at the next step. All right, so let's go ahead and see how these are going to install. So these are right and left, and it looks like they're going to install right here. Let me turn this around. So if you're looking at it head on, we have the pod here on this side. It's going to go through these two holes here and up to this hole here on this side. So those are how that goes in there. We'll have to see if we get to that from the bottom or how we're going to screw those in. Yeah, these will have to be screwed in from the bottom. So let's see if we can find the screws for those. It's going to be a little bit of a tight stretch trying to get into those pieces there, but it looks like we have the screws here. Let's go put these on the side. So it looks like we're using the 3x12mm screws, which are the medium you'll see in the kit. So we'll need two of those on each side. So we'll just prep those here and here. And let's go ahead and get these light bars installed. And then to do the top one, we're going to be using these flat, let me see, these two flat screws. These are the 3x10mm you'll see in there in the bag. Those are going to be for the top portion right here. So let's figure out how we're going to get these in there and how we're going to get those screwed in. So through those two holes there. So let's turn this over and take a look. I see the holes there. I'm not sure I'll be able to fit the drill, so we may need to use one of our other tools. Let's take a look at our toolkit and see if we have that size to make things a little bit easier for us. It would be nice if we could just fit our Fantech in there, but we can't always be so lucky. So let's take a look if we have the size that we need here. All right. So we have that ready to go. And we'll start with the right side first. Turn this over and we'll see how it is getting this piece in there. You know, maybe more beneficial to just mount this top one on there first so that it's kind of held in place. And I'll do this on both sides so that that is in place and it holds everything in there for us so we're not having to deal with that too much there. All right, well, let's turn this over, see if that makes life a little bit easier. I don't imagine it will, but we can hope. All right, so that right there is going to be an issue. That does not fit. See if we can grab one of our handhelds here to help us out. Not enough space to really get that turning. And it does not have a tool, which is fine. We got plenty of tools here. Looks like that is still not going to fit, so let's see if we can at least get it started. We kind of got it started. Let's see what we can find here to help us out, since that's not going to work. All right, this will probably take a little bit longer, but it may reach. I hope that we can just poke this through. Let's see if we can reach. Looks like we're making a little bit of progress. Let's keep it going. Sounds like it's poking out through the body. Let's see how that looks coming out to the other side. Alright, we have those pods installed, all screwed in. Wasn't the easiest to get to because you don't have very much space to work in there. But now that that's installed, let's go ahead and run these wires to the bottom. These will be unplugged here. And there is a little spot through the dash you can run these wires through. You'll see that spot once you have the vehicle and taking a look at it. But it's just a little opening here in the dash. You can just stick these wires in. They fit perfectly through there. And you can lift up on that area if you needed to, open up a little more space. So the wires tuck perfectly inside of there. And then once they're through that hole right there, just pull them through the bottom. And then we'll see what is next on the next step for this install. Let's move on to the next step. The next step is we're going to be using the light bar, and we're going to be doing the red light in the back. So let's go ahead and grab the light bar, which is going to be this guy right here. And we'll see how this wire runs. Looks like we're going to run this, let's see. Probably be zip tying this to the top, but this light bar is going to be attaching to the bottom of these holes here. So these two holes you see on the outside, you have 1, 2, 3 that's going to be for the roof, and the ones just in front of that is going to be for the light bar. So let's go ahead and get that all done up. If I can just turn this to the side. there we go. That, take that expert advice there and unscrew just the 2 screws there on the side so that you can use your drill if your fingers are already feeling dead like mine are. Get that there. Sometimes you have to think smarter, not harder. I can tell you that getting in those pods installed was not easy, so all the dexterity I had in my fingers is pretty much dead. But that little mod right there was a lifesaver. So I would say, if you're watching this far, do what I just did and save the fingers. All right, so looks we have that, and we're going to be installing the rear light bar, which is this one right here. We should have a mount on the other side. Let's see how difficult this is going to be. So this one we do have a adapter on the elbow that goes on this rear part here to get this installed. So let's see how we do that here. So in your bag, you're going to see these joints here. Put them on the light bar just like that in the same direction, and then we're going to go ahead and screw in our screws. These are going to be the same screws that we used, or we've been using throughout the video so far. So let's see if we can't somehow cheat this again. Let's take off this piece here, and I'll show you where exactly this goes. So we're going to take off these lights, the whip lights. And again, you could do it without taking these off. I can just say that it's going to be not very fun. In the instructions, you'll see it just with a picture and the line saying, oh, just go in this direction. But in all reality, it's not that easy. Let's get that loosened up a little bit, see if we can't. Might actually need to take it off all the way. Yeah. And again, this advice is free. This will definitely help you and your thumbs if you had issues with that initial install like I did. So once that is off, we're going to take, you'll see these bars here and here, these posts. You'll essentially take this bar and mount it onto those posts just like that. And once those are mounted, then you'll just take your screws that you have left, 2 screws that are left over from the, I believe, 10 that were in the pack, and you'll just screw those in fairly easily there once you have it off. So we have that one installed there, and we're going to do the other one on the other side. Alright, so once that's off, or I'm sorry, installed, we're going to put this back together. This thing should light up like a Christmas tree. It's going to look pretty cool. Alright, so we have that installed. That went on fairly easily. Let's see where we're going to tuck these lights, or these wires. I'm assuming we can probably just zip tie these here and run it in the same spot And then we had the other lights running, and then these, we have a nice little spot here on the side. Just below this roll cage here. Tuck those two plugs there. So we have them running near this passenger seat right there in the back, so we'll probably zip tie that there once we're done running all the wires. I think that's going to be a good fit. And this wire we're going to run in the same spot that we ran the pod. And that's going to go straight down. Alright, so we have the wires ran there. Now we're going to see the next step is going to be to install onto the chassis the selector switch here. So let's go ahead and get this down to the side. We're going to have the chassis, and we'll see where we're going to install this and what we need for that piece there. Alright, so we have this massive chassis back on the table, and we have this piece here. This is going to be the switch. So this is going to mount with, let's see what plate we have here. Looks like we need this guy right here. So essentially you're going to take this right here, and we're going to mount it right here, screw that into place. Now the flat side right there is going to go facing the front axle, just like that. We're going to grab some of our remaining screws here, get that screwed in. See if we lost our screwdriver underneath this monstrosity. Here we go. And that's going to go just below where you adjust for the brake, or just above. And with the wire facing back towards the rear, we're going to mount this here. I'm going to grab a couple of screws. Alright, so we have that mounted there. Now this next part looks like we're going to get into this box right here. Actually, this box right here, we're going to have to unplug quite a few things to get to that. So go ahead and remove this, this cap right here. So the two screws on the side, one on either side. And we're going to remove that cap. I'll just leave the screws intact there so we don't lose those. And what we're going to do is from this side, let me come around. Right here we see these prongs. We're essentially going to take this piece and we're going to plug that in right there. There's a lot of dirt and debris in there, so we can get some of that out of there. that out. Now we're going to remove this piece here on the cover. That just comes off. Now we're going to take this and we're going to run this through. Like that there. Now we'll go ahead and plug this back in. Get this cover back on. That is nice and secure. And it looks like we have this piece here is going to hold the wire down. So let's go ahead and run that wire. Grab a couple of our screws. All right, so we're going to take this piece and we're going to mount it here to hold this wire in place. Let's go ahead and start that there. Alright, so that'll keep that nice buttoned away. Alright, so now let's go ahead and plug this in, and then we're going to see where all of our wiring goes for the cover, the body. Get all that kind of tucked away. This is done here, so let's put this on the side. And now we're going to see where all of everything gets zip tied up and held on to. So we're going to use this piece right here, I believe, to hold back one of the accessory supplies. So we'll see how that mounts here in a little bit. Well, we have some of the wires zip tied there. We're going to zip tie these wires here for the rear tail light. I'll try to wrap those on the bottom so you can't really see them from the outside. All right, we have the wires that are from the light bars all tied off. Now this is where we're going to get a little bit confusing, even for me. Let's see how we're going to run these lights. So it looks like the two pods are going to plug into each other, which we have those right here. You'll see the two pods, there's green bands around them. We're going to basically plug those in together. And then we're going to zip tie those to the bottom here. All right, so then we're going to take the remaining wire, which is, let me see, looks like we have two of them. All right, so now we're going to see what we have here to plug in. We're going to have this wire here that has all kinds of fun connectors. All right, we cut that video out a little bit just because it was very daunting mentally. But we have it all wired up. You follow the diagram in the sense of where everything goes. What I couldn't figure out was these splitters here, but they're all color-coded, white tape there, white tape there. And then once you have those all plugged into the appropriate splitter, you're going to plug it into this adapter here, which is going to go right there. There'll be an empty space there. You'll see it just below the power supply. This will be right next to it. Once you have that, it's going to be the plug that actually goes on to the chassis itself. And then you'll have a splitter just like this that has it color-coded that you go A, B, C, D, and you'll see that very easily. And then once we have that installed, you just basically zip tie all the wires so they're all nice and clean, which I'm going to do now. Once we're done with that, we're going to take it outside, light it up, let it run for a bit. But that is the gist of it. We'll check out the mode selector. I believe it just toggles through the lights as far as bright, low light, and then off. So pretty cool. So far, so good. I did test it real quick to see if it's working, but I'm going to zip tie these, get it all put together, put the body on, light it up, and then we'll take it out for a quick spin here in the darkness. All right, so we got all of our light installed. You can see the whip lights there on, but let's go ahead and turn everything else on that we just installed. We're gonna take it out for a quick night drive here at the park. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Joe, you're risking your life at the park. It's dangerous out there. Doing this for us? Yes, I am. It's also a very safe neighborhood. So let's go ahead and turn the lights on. See the lights there. And it does have another mode where it's even brighter. And then you have the rear light there. It's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and get this clipped in, take it for a drive, and check it out. Let's go. All right, so we see the whip light's nice. We also have the rear light that we installed right there. And then we have the buckets here on either side, driver side, passenger side. Then we have the light bar. Now it does have a brake. Let's see if I can get that going here. Oh, there's reverse. We have a reverse light. And then we have a brake. It's reverse. And then we have that brake. You can see more of that as I drive it along. So let's go ahead and take this thing out and rip it. Pretty cool. Lots of fun in the darkness. Take it out to the dunes, to the beach, hopefully. Get some nice footage there. Pretty awesome.